Hello everybody and welcome to my review of the 1960 French horror film classic Eyes Without a Face, directed by Georges Franju. I hope I said that close to right. And this is a very influential French horror movie which really pushed the boundaries of what horror could do and what it could be, both in terms of psychologically and visually, definitely. First thing I will say about this film is that it is not for the squeamish. It's not gory by today's standards, but there definitely are some disturbing visual images in this film that were not common at all for 1960. So just to give the basic plot of this film without giving away everything that happens, basically there is a doctor and he has a daughter and her face is disfigured in an accident, and him and his assistant, a woman he also helped some years back with her face, they kidnap young girls and try and take their faces to make a new face for his daughter. Now, if this sounds creepy and disturbing, it is, and this is an excellent film and a credit to the horror movie genre as a whole. Part of the reason is because there is a lot of visual violence in this film. They actually do show some of the surgery procedures being done, and the mask that the daughter character wears in this film is just very creepy. We do get to see her face in brief flashes as well, but most of the time she wears this mask, and it's very disturbing, almost hypnotic, and it really works for the film. The acting overall in this film is very, very good, especially the three lead characters, the doctor, his assistant, and the daughter, who is really good. She's a character we get to, in my opinion, sympathize with, and that's just through basically her voice and her eyes. I mean, she doesn't really get to do a lot of other facial acting through a majority of the film, and that's a tribute to how well the film is directed as well. The way the angles and shots were set up, the cinematography is very good as well, but just the way everything is shot and set up, it really makes you feel for the daughter character in this film. And I think her name is Christiane. I think she's one of the great horror movie characters, and I think that that's really what makes the film good. Another thing about this film is I would consider it a psychological horror film, meaning that the characters do have motivations behind what they do, and there's some interesting things that are gone into there. Let me just say, without getting too much into spoiling the film, that the thing that I really feel makes this film work above everything else is that you may not agree with what the characters do, but you do understand the characters, their motivations. I think this is a big difference and a big distinction to be had. While I may not even like all the characters or agree with what they do, they act as realistic people, therefore making me understand them and what they're going through. To me, a good film, you don't always have to like every character, but their motivations should be understandable, and I feel this film does a great job of pulling that off. Another thing to mention about this film is it is very creepy. It has a very good atmosphere for a horror film, and it is in black and white, which in this case I think helps a great deal. And the film is very deliberate. Now, I don't mean slow. To me, there's a difference. I equate slow with kind of boring, dull. This film is not boring or dull, but it's not an action-packed film. It's deliberate. Each scene takes a while to get going, but it really helps build the mood and the tension of this film. I think deliberate is a compliment in this case. I think that's a good thing. One small complaint about this film, and it is small, I do feel at about the 2/3 of the way mark, the film does lose a little bit of its steam. I feel we start focusing a little bit too much on the doctor character. While interesting, I like the balance between the three main characters, and I think going away from the daughter character for this length of time may not have been the best move. I understand why it was done. They want us to learn more about the doctor and what he does outside of trying to help his daughter, but I think that might have been served better in the first half of the film or spread out throughout the film than trying to do it in the last third. It doesn't kill the film or anything by any means. It's still a great film, but I just thought this was kind of an odd choice where to put this in the film. But the ending more than makes up for it. The last about 5 to 10 minutes of this film is really amazing and one of the best and most fitting endings I've seen in a horror movie. And I'll just leave it at that. This is definitely a classic that anybody who, wants to see the classic horror films, they should definitely watch this film. And I feel a lot of modern horror films could learn a lot from this film too, in terms of it's still very important to have believable, relatable characters in your film, and I think that's what makes this film a classic. So I give Eyes Without a Face a 4.5 out of 5 and highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.